So AMD is preparing their new desktop-aimed Ryzen 3000 APUs, which will be coming out soon. Last week, we got to see the first picture of one such processor posted by a leaker over at Chiphell. Now, the same leaker has made an unsuccessful attempt at delidding the processor, completely destroying it, but also exposing what lies beneath the IHS. In that last post, we made it clear that the Ryzen 3000 series CPUs and Ryzen 3000 series APUs are two very different things. The Ryzen 3000 CPU will be based on the new 7nm Zen 2 architecture, while the APUs will be based on the existing 12nm Zen Plus architecture. The reason why AMD is launching their APUs on existing process rather than the new 7nm node is that desktops never really got a taste of the Zen Plus 12nm based APUs, so AMD is presenting a launch now. There would obviously be the 7nm Ryzen 4000 family, but that would definitely launch later on. So coming to the specifications, first, the same leaker, while post has been taken down at this point, did mention a few details. According to the leaker, the Ryzen 3 3200G can be overclocked, or at least he could, to 4.3 GHz with 1.38 volts, which is quite impressive considering its predecessor, the Ryzen 3 2200G, which could really only manage about 4 GHz with the same voltage. The Ryzen 5 3400G, on the other hand, could push clocks up to 4.25 with a voltage bump of 1.38 volts, while the Ryzen 5 2400G could really only manage about 3.925 with the same voltage. We were able to get ours up to 4 GHz, but again, it did take about that same voltage there. The temperatures on each processor were also reported, with the Ryzen 3 3200G maxing out at 75C with the said overclock figures, which is the same as the Ryzen 3 2200G, which operated at 300 MHz slower clock speed, and the Ryzen 5 3400G managed 80C at max load, which was just 1 degree bump over the overclocked Ryzen 5 2400G, while offering a 325 MHz bump on the clock speeds. This shows that the new Zen Plus architecture delivers about a 300 MHz bump overclock potential on the upcoming Ryzen 3000 APU. All processors rock 4 MB of L3 cache, with the Ryzen 3 series rocking 4-core and 4-thread design, while the Ryzen 5 series rocks a 4-core and 8-thread design. Now moving on to the interesting part. After all the overclocking was done, the leaker tried to delid the Ryzen 3 3200G APU, and after an unsuccessful attempt, which completely destroyed the die area underneath was exposed, and the chip looks to be the same size and dimensions as the previous Ryzen 2000 series APUs, although we can't say that for sure. The one major upgrade that the Ryzen 3000 series APUs feature a gold-plated solder design compared to the traditional TIM applications of the previous series. This could explain the much better thermals with higher overclocks on the new APUs. The leaker did report earlier that he has many samples with him, so probably won't make the same mistake when delidding the next Ryzen 3000 APU. While specs may not seem like much of a change, it should be known that AMD Picasso generations of APUs was always meant to feature the Raven Ridge design while adopting the Zen Plus cores for performance and power uplift. The Ryzen 3000 series APUs have already been announced for notebook platforms, and now we're going to see them in action on the desktop AM4 platform too. So let us know what you think about these newer APUs and their potential overclocking capabilities. I, for one, am looking forward to picking one of these up and seeing what I can squeeze out of the GPU side of things. This has been Keith with WCCF Tech TV. Make sure that you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so that YouTube will perhaps send you a notification when they feel like it, when our next video goes live.